Good afternoon and welcome to BeeTv News on the hour. I am Evelyn Ezebili, and now to the news in details. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Yesu Wike, has said Nigerians must count themselves lucky to have a leader like President Bola Tinubu, whom he described as tolerant of criticism. Wike said it is only in Nigeria that a citizen will go on social media to describe the president as a criminal, expecting no consequences. The minister, who spoke in Abuja during the flag-off of the Arterial Road number 1 in Wuye, was alluding to a recent social media post by activist and ex-presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, Omoyele Sowore, who described Tinubu as a criminal. Wike said even in America, where citizens freely criticize President Donald Trump, no one would go as far as describing him as a criminal. He said this is a country where somebody on social media will say Mr. President is a criminal, and added that no matter how people criticize Trump, no any American citizen on social media or in public would say he is a criminal. Meanwhile, Wike also addressed the indefinite strike by resident doctors in the FCT, noting that the administration has earmarked 25 billion naira for a health sector in the 2025 budget approved in July. He explained that while issues of allowances and employment of doctors were being considered, due process must be followed. He explained that in the 2025 budget, 25 billion naira has been budgeted for health capital projects and that people should ask questions before protesting. He said Wike also warned against politicizing the FCT civil service. One of Nigeria's fastest growing independent media platforms, BeeTv News, will celebrate its highly anticipated second anniversary on Saturday, October 18, 2025, at the Victor Waifo Creative Hub, Airport Road, Benin City, Edo State. With the theme Nigeria's Future, Bleak or Bright, the Role of the Media. The milestone event will spotlight the critical role of the media in shaping Nigeria's democratic resilience, governance culture, and socio-economic future. BeeTv News' God Gift Omone has details.
It will take you a minimum of 500,000 naira to go to Abuja and come back. And these people made that sacrifice. The South Vice Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Chijanleti Ogu, the executive governor of Edo State, he said he was most called a Kakomida, but I can tell you that he's still a Kakomida.
BeeTv News' second year anniversary will be graced by His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okwebolo, as the distinguished guest of honor, while the Deputy Governor of Edo State, His Excellency Right Honorable Dennis Idahosa, is the special guest of honor. The event will also feature a national leader who is the Chairman Governing Council of Ambrose Ali University, Ekpoma, and National Vice Chairman South South will serve as the father of the day on the occasion, and Professor Eddie Eragbe of the Department of History of the University of Benin will be the guest speaker, as he would deliver the theme of the year, Nigeria's Future, Bleak or Bright, the Role of the Media. One of the highlights of the evening will be the conferment of the BeeTv News Icon of the Year award on His Excellency Senator Adams Aliyu Eric Oshomole, CON, former governor of Edo State and current senator representing Edo North Senatorial District, in recognition of his enduring contributions to governance, leadership, and national discourse. The second anniversary will also unveil the BeeTv News Foundation, a not-for-profit initiative that will advance media literacy, empower grassroots journalism, and support community development across Edo State and Nigeria. Speaking ahead of the event, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of BeeTv News, Ms. Best Orator, noted that the second anniversary is not just a celebration of growth, but a reaffirmation of purpose. She said in just 2 years, BeeTv News has stood firm as a credible voice of the people, championing fearless journalism and storytelling that inspires accountability. The managing director added that with this year's theme, difficult but necessary questions will be raised about Nigeria's future and reaffirming the media's central role in ensuring it shines bright. The anniversary will convene political leaders, lawmakers, policy makers, captains of industry, media professionals, and civil society actors in what promises to be one of Edo State's most compelling gatherings of 2025. Gift Omone reporting for BeeTv News.
Ahead of the September 20th councillorship by-election in Edo State, the inspection of sensitive and non-sensitive materials at the Edo State Independent Electoral Commission headquarters in Benin City has been carried out by officials of the Commission to confirm the Commission's level of preparedness. BeeTv News God Gifts Omone has more.
BeeTv News crew captured electoral materials at the office of the Edo State Independent Electoral Commission. The sensitive and non-sensitive materials include ballot papers, result sheets, polling booths to be used at various polling units, and orders required for the conduct of the elections in the affected wards of the local government areas. An official of the commission assured that all materials had been adequately sorted and secured under tight supervision to ensure transparency and credibility in the process. They further disclosed that deployments to local government offices and wards would commence within the stipulated timeline, with security agencies providing escorts to guarantee safe delivery. According to the commission, mechanisms have been put in place to prevent irregularities, including the use of coded ballot papers and strict monitoring of result collation, and also the protection of the voters on the day of the election.
The Commission, in terms of security, is working tightly with the interagency in terms of security for elections in Edo State. We're in talks with the police, we're in talks with the DSS, we're in talks with the NCDC, to ensure that we have maximum security of election materials, staffs, on election day, as well as the voters, those who will be coming out to cast their votes on the day of the election. Currently, deployment is ongoing. The Commission has completed capacity building training for all the staff, both permanent and ad hoc staff, that will be partaking in the election.
The spokesperson also explained that the forthcoming councillorship by-election remains open to all registered political parties who participated in the previous 2023 local government area election, stressing that the process is guided by law to ensure inclusiveness and fairness.
Yes, the number of political parties that participated in the election for the current local government elected officers, that was 2022, is the same number of parties that will partake. By law. They are the same parties, so it's open to those parties that were contested before now, to contest, to join to end the tenure of the current local government executive.
Within 48 hours to the poll, the inspection indicates that the Commission is finalizing its logistics to fill vacant councillorship seats across the designated wards. Gift Omone reporting for BeeTv News.
U.S. President Donald Trump has suggested that Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer could use the military to stop illegal migration at the news conference marking the end of the U.S. President's second state visit to the UK. Trump said he discussed migration issues with Sir Keir during a meeting at his country residence headquarters. BeeTv News God Gifts Omone has details.
Since his return to the White House in January, Trump has stepped up deportations of illegal immigrants and cracked down on unlawful border crossing. In 2 days of pomp and pageantry, the U.S. president was hosted at Windsor Castle by King Charles and the royal family and attended a state banquet on Wednesday before his political talks with the Prime Minister on Thursday. The President and First Lady Melania Trump departed the UK from Stansted Airport in Air Force One shortly after the news conference. In a wide-ranging Q&A with UK and US journalists, the leaders were also asked about Palestinian statehood, free speech, the war in Ukraine, energy and other topics. The pair touted the special relationship between the UK and the US and announced a new tech deal Trump said would help the allies dominate in the world of artificial intelligence AI. The tech prosperity deal signed at Chequers will see US firms' investment in the UK and boost cooperation on AI, quantum, and other emerging technologies. No matter how successful the trip, there are limits on how much any leader can impact Trump. I am Gosgift Omone, reporting for BeeTv News.
So we had millions of people flowing in, totally unchecked, totally unvetted from the Biden administration. 25 million, in my opinion, that would be about 25 million. They came from prisons, they came from mental institutions, they were gang members, they were drug dealers. They came from the Congo, they came from all parts of South America, they came from everywhere. Think of it, prisons from the Congo being released into the United States, prisons opened up in Venezuela and many other countries pouring into the United States. And I couldn't believe it. One of the reasons I decided to run. I decided to run because I don't want to be controversial, but you see what's happened and you see all the information that's come out. We won in 2020 big. And I said, let's run, we got to run, because I saw what was happening. And the worst thing that I saw was all of these people. You know, we've already solved inflation. We've solved prices. Oil is way down. Energy is way down in the United States. But what I saw happening with millions of people pouring into our country, I couldn't stand to watch it. And we've done a great job. Nobody, if you've seen the last, I appreciate your question, by the way. Nobody, absolutely zero, and I'm not even sure that's possible, but it's a very liberal group that come out with those statistics. The last 3 months, we had zero. From millions of people a year ago, we had zero people enter our country illegally. And we do have people coming in legally through a legal process and testing and lots of other things. I think it's very important, and we speak about it, and I think your situation is very similar. You know, you have people coming in, and I told the Prime Minister I would stop it, and it doesn't matter if you call out the military, it doesn't matter what means you use, but it's going to destroys countries from within. And we're actually now removing a lot of the people that came into our country. It's a very hard chore. We were given a very, very bad hand. Millions of people came in from prisons and mental institutions. We have to remove them. And we are removing them. We have no choice, and I feel very strongly about it. Thank you very much.
Jack, let me just deal with the question of returns, because this is obviously an issue we're taking incredibly seriously. We've struck a number of deals both on cooperation with other countries, because this is a problem right across Europe, to tackle the problem of actually breaking up the gangs that are running this trade. We have had a record number of returns, over 35,000 now since we came into office. That's the highest number for the best part of 10 years. We struck the returns arrangement with France, and notwithstanding the challenges to that scheme, which you've seen in the last few days, a flight went off at 6:15 this morning, successfully returning someone under that scheme. So that is an important step forward. Obviously, there's no silver bullet here. There's a range of things that need to be done. But given the challenges of returning people, it is important that we're able to prove it can be done. It was done. It was done early this morning. So I can confirm that that flight went. It went successfully. And I'm pleased about that. Now we need to ramp that up at scale, which was always envisaged under the scheme. But it's very important that we have been able to prove that the proof of concept, if you like, that this can be done, and we'll continue in that.
The Taliban government has removed books written by women from the university teaching system in Afghanistan as part of a new ban, which has also outlawed the teaching of human rights and sexual harassment. Some 140 books by women, including titles like Safety in the Chemical Laboratory, were among 680 books found to be of concern due to anti-Sharia and Taliban policies. BeeTv News' Esohe Osemenge has more.
The universities were further told they were no longer allowed to teach 18 subjects, with the Taliban officials saying they were in conflict with the principles of Sharia and the system's policy. The decree is the latest in a series of restrictions which the Taliban have brought in since returning to power 4 years ago. Just this week, Fiber optic internet was banned in at least 10 provinces on the orders of the Taliban supreme leader, in a move officials said was to prevent immorality. While the rules have had an impact on many aspects of life, women and girls have been particularly hard hit. They are banned from accessing education over the 6th grade, with one of their last routes to further training cut off in late 2024 when midwifery courses were quietly shortened. Now, even university subjects about women have been targeted. 6 of the 18 banned are specifically about women, including gender and development, the role of women in communication, and women's sociology. The Taliban government have said it respects women's rights in accordance with their interpretation of Afghan culture and Islamic law. A member of the committee reviewing the books confirmed the ban on books written by women, telling BBC Afghan that all books authored by women are not allowed to be taught. Zakia Adeli, the former Deputy Minister of Justice prior to the Taliban's return and one of the authors who has found their books on the banned list, was unsurprised by the move. He said, considering what the Taliban have done over the past 4 years, it was not far-fetched to expect them to impose changes on the curriculum, adding that even the Taliban's misogynist mindset and policy, it is only natural that when women themselves are not allowed to study, their views, ideas, and writings are also suppressed. Soher Osemeki reporting for BeeTv News.
System Workshop and the Pentagon have teamed up to launch Healthy, Happy, Ready, a program that helps military children build healthy habits and cope with challenges like moving or deployment through fun, moped-led resources.
In a joint news conference, the two leaders said they had agreed to expand ties between their countries and were committed to their 3-day trade partnership with the U.S. Claudia Sheinbaum said she was optimistic the two countries would continue to work together with reciprocal respect. Kani said North America is the economic envy of the world, in part due to trade cooperation between Canada and Mexico, while both Sheinbaum and Kani have been attempting to reach side trade deals with U.S. President Donald Trump. On Thursday, they insisted they were not in competition with each other. Public consultations on the future of the USMCA begin this week in advance of a review to be conducted by each country next year. Canada has recently struggled to renegotiate its existing agreements with Washington amid growing trade and political tensions following comments by Trump on wanting his northern neighbor to join the U.S. as its 51st state. In August, Trump was reported to have signed a secret executive order directing the military to attack Mexican drug cartels, forcing Sheinbaum to respond to concerns about direct U.S. military intervention in Mexico. Both countries have been targeted by Trump in his trade war, with 50% tariffs imposed on Canadian steel and 25% on some Mexican pharmaceuticals. Mexico has also been hit with another 25% tariff over what he says is the flow of drugs across Mexican borders and into the U.S. Mexico and Canada are the largest and second largest trading partners, respectively, while the U.S. is the top trading partner for both countries. Trade between Mexico and Canada was valued at $40.5 billion in 2024. Canada's trade relationship with the U.S., by contrast, was valued at $924.4 billion. Kani's trip is the first bilateral visit by Canadian Prime Minister to Mexico in 8 years, and Canadian officials briefing reporters described ties as excellent but considered they could be closer. Best Orator reporting for BeeTv News.
Canada and Mexico have promised to deepen ties and coordinate their approach during a forthcoming review with Washington of the 2020 United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, or USMCA. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney visited Mexico on Thursday, where he met his counterpart, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, to discuss economic and security ties. Moving on, the United States vetoed a crucial United Nations Security Council resolution demanding a ceasefire in Gaza as Israel expanded its scorched earth offensive in Gaza City. The resolution, approved by 14 of the 15 members of the Council on Thursday, called for an immediate, unconditional and permanent ceasefire in Gaza respected by all parties, the release of all captives held by Hamas and other groups, and a lifting of restriction on humanitarian aid into Gaza. Bess Arito has details.
Drafted by the Council's 10 elected members, the resolution went further than previous iterations to highlight what diplomats called the catastrophic humanitarian situation in Gaza after nearly 2 years of war in the Gaza Strip, which has killed at least 65,144 people, according to Palestinian health officials. As expected, the United States void the effort. U.S. opposition to this resolution will come as no surprise, said Morgan Ortagos, U.S. Deputy Special Envoy to the Middle East. It fails to condemn Hamas or recognize Israel's right to defend itself, and it wrongly legitimizes the false narratives benefiting Hamas, which have sadly found currency in the Council. Ortagos added that the UN-backed Integrated Food Security Phase Classification's official declaration on famine in the enclave last month had employed flawed methodology, hailing the work of the heavily militarized GHF hubs, where so many Palestinians have been killed while seeking food for their families. After the vote, the Palestinian ambassador to the United Nations, Raid Mosso, said the US veto was deeply regrettable and had prevented the Security Council from playing its rightful role in the face of these atrocities and to protect civilians in the face of genocide. Algerian ambassador to the UN, Ahmad Benjamin, also has strong words. Palestinian brothers, Palestinian sisters, forgive us, he said.
Of the people of Gaza who deserve a future free from Hamas, and the whole Middle East, which is ready to move into a new chapter of peace and prosperity. For these reasons, the United States of America will vote against the draft resolution and urges delegations to join us in voting against it.
I shall put the draft resolution to the vote now. Please raise their hand.
The war in Gaza had killed more than 18,000 children and 12,000 women, killed more than 1,400 doctors and nurses, and more than 250 journalists. Meanwhile, the Israeli ambassador to the United Nations, Danny Donon, said that Israel needed no justification for its war on Gaza. He thanked Ortagos for exercising the U.S. veto. The Israeli military, which has said multiple times that it wants to definitely crush Hamas, has not given a specific timeline for the offensive, though there are indications that it could take months. Best Orator reporting for BeeTv.
"11 people detained in Ghana after being deported from the U.S. have sued the West African nation's government. Oliver Barker-Varmowo says the deportees had not violated any Ghanaian law and their detention in a military camp was therefore illegal. He wanted the government to produce the group in court and justify why they were being held against their will, the lawyer added. The government has not yet commented on the lawsuit, but has previously said that it plans to accept another 40 deportees. Opposition MPs are demanding the immediate suspension of the deportation deal until Parliament ratifies it, saying this was required under Ghanaian law. Last week, Ghanaian President John Mahama said that 14 deportees of West African origin had arrived in the country following an agreement reached with the U.S. He later said that all of them had been returned to their countries of origin, though Foreign Minister Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa contradicted him by saying that only most of them had been returned. The deportations are part of the U.S. government hardline approach towards immigration since President Donald Trump took office in January. 5 of the detainees, 3 Nigerians and 2 Gambians, have also sued the U.S. government, arguing that they were protected by a court order and should not have been deported. We'll take a short break and we will be right back shortly. Stay with us.
My people of Edo State, development is not a miracle. It is the result of responsibility and action. You want good roads, quality hospitals, schools, jobs for our youth? Then you must understand this simple truth. Government cannot perform without your tax. Government will fix schools, build roads, light up communities if the people pay their tax. That's how governance works. It is not about politics. It is about progress. When you pay your tax, you are not helping the government. You are helping yourself. You are helping your family and your future. Don't wait to be chased. Do the right thing. Be part of building the new Edo State. Pay your tax with pride. Let us build Edo together. This message is brought to you by Edo State Internal Revenue Service,
EIRS, Administering Revenue for Service and Development.
Welcome back from that short break, and now to the business news. Sterling Bank has announced the first 99 recipients of its 2 billion naira Beyond Education Scholarship Fund during the Sterling Leadership Series held at the Alliance Franchise de Lagos Mike Adunuga Center. Let's join BeeTv News Esohe Osewinge for details and more from the business world.
The scholarship program, launched earlier in the year, is designed to provide field tuition funding for deserving Nigerians and is part of the bank's art strategy, which prioritizes investment in health, education, agriculture, renewable energy, and transportation. The unveiling event draws stakeholders from the education, entrepreneurship, and policy sectors who discuss the importance of creativity, adaptability, and lifelong learning for Africans' growth. The Sterling Leadership Series, a quarterly interactive forum, served as a platform for the scholarship announcement. The bank emphasized that the initiative represents one of the most significant private sector commitments to higher education in Nigeria, aiming to expand access to quality learning and drive long-term national development. Schneider Electric has introduced the Masterpact MTZ active circuit breaker to the West African market. The digital solution is developed to address key challenges in energy management, offering improved safety, operational efficiency, connectivity, and sustainability for industries ranging from small manufacturing operations to large-scale complexes. The product includes a micro-logic control unit that provides real-time data to manage load fluctuations and restore power quickly after outages. It also features an energy reduction maintenance setting, arc flash hazard protection. Additional functionality includes an LCD embedded QR code system for quick diagnosis in case of a trip and retrofit compatibility, allowing existing Masterpact NT/NW installation to be upgraded without replacing entire switchboards. This compatibility helps reduce cost and extend equipment life for businesses seeking modernization. Nigeria and 7 other African countries have signed a charter establishing the African Petroleum Regulators Forum during the 31st African Oil Week in Accra, Ghana. The charter was endorsed by regulators from Nigeria, Ghana, Somalia, Gambia, Madagascar, Sudan, Guinea, and Togo. 7 additional countries, including Kenya, Mauritania, Benin, Mozambique, Angola, Namibia, and South Africa, attended the event and expressed intentions to join after further consultations. The signing followed earlier proposals by the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, whose Chief Executive Benga Komolafe now serves as interim chairman of AfriPAF. The forum is designed to promote cooperation among petroleum regulators in Africa, ensuring efficient, equitable, and sustainable management of hydrocarbon resources while aligning with the global energy transition trends. Its vision is to serve as a leading platform for sharing knowledge, best practices, and expertise in petroleum regulation across the continent. That is the size of our business news package. Thank you so much for staying with us. I am Esohe Osemeki, reporting for BeeTv News.
Nigerian rapper and Zanko record boss Zlatan Ibili has gifted a sum of 1 million naira to the mother of a loyal fan. The gesture followed an online exchange after the fan narrated how Zlatan's song Good Life inspired him during a period of financial hardship in 2023. Also, Nkechi Blessing addresses viral gym photo. Legend BeeTv News God gives money for details and more from the entertainment world.
The fan, identified as Mini the Plug on X, later showcased his admiration by printing Zlatan's words of encouragement on a shirt, which he wore alongside his mother, who also wore a shirt inscribed Symbol of Hope. Moved by the act, Zlatan announced the cash gift of 1 million naira for the fan's mother. The development attracted widespread commendation on social media, with many praising Zlatan for rewarding loyalty and extending his generosity beyond words. DJ and music personality Copy has described marriage as one of the most powerful forms of partnership in life. Her remarks came shortly after her younger sister Temi Otedola married Nigerian singer Mr. Easy and officially became Mrs. Ajibade. Reflecting on the significance of the union, Copy said marriage, when shared with the right partner, strengthens purpose while building love, family, and legacy. She further noted that the institution remains relevant and is not outdated. Copy has, in previous interviews and posts, expressed her own desire to find the right partner and settle down. Actress Nkechi Blessing has reacted to viral images of her taken at a gym, which showed her looking exhausted after a workout session. According to the actress, her presence at the gym is aimed at staying fit and healthy, not at making fashion statements. She explained that her appearance after workouts is normal, adding that she will continue her fitness routine regardless of public commentary. Nkechi also noted that although she could have pursued action against the individual who circulated the photo without her consent, she reaffirmed her confidence, stating that she carries herself with pride, including her body shape. And that is it from the entertainment world. Gospel Omone reporting for BeeTv News.
And lastly, on today's blessing, Manchester United women have made history, sealing their place in the main draw of the UEFA Women's Champions League for the very first time after producing a thrilling comeback against Norwegian side Brown. Inspired by an Elizabeth Terland hat-trick, Manchester United overturned a first-leg deficit at Liège Sports Village to deceive book their spots in Friday's draw for the new 18-team league phase. Legend our sports correspondent Freeman Osawe for details.
Inspired by an Elizabeth Terland hat-trick, Manchester United overturned the first leg deficit at Leeds Sports Village to deservedly book their spot in Friday's draw for the new 18-team league phase. Coming to the second leg 1-0 down on aggregate after a chaotic first leg in Norway, where United bizarrely lost several pairs of boots in transit. Mark Skinner's team wasted no time rediscovering their scoring touch. Terland, who had already bagged the treble against PSV earlier in the qualifying campaign, struck inside 9 minutes with a ruthless first-time finish before doubling the advantage with a superb header and nudged United ahead overall. Manchester United dominated the first half and created several chances, and just as Brown began to grow into the contest after the break, Manchester United flag Imago delivered the killer blow on the counter, Crowley slotting home a third to complete perfect hat-trick. Ravishing Rashford ravages Magpies on return to England in a stunning 2-1 defeat against Newcastle. Barcelona had Marcus Rashford to thank for their 2-1 away win over Newcastle in their first game of the 2025-2026 Champions League season. Returning to his native England, Rashford took the game by the scruff of the neck, scoring both of Barcelona's goals to give them a 2-goal lead before Anthony Gordon's late goal for Newcastle made it 2-1. Newcastle flew out of the gate against Barcelona, driven on by their passionate support, and Anthony Gordon came inches away from finishing Anthony Elanga's delivery early on, while Avi Barnes was denied by Joan Garcia before an offside flag spared his blushes. Soon after, Marcus Rashford nearly stunned the home crowd with a surging run. Through his weak effort, wasted the opportunity. Barcelona began to see more of the ball midway through the first half, but they found Newcastle's physical approach difficult to handle. Former super lightweight world champion Liam Parrow was forced to dig deep in order to defeat Frenchman David Paport in the IBF Waterweight World Title Eliminator in Brisbane on Thursday. The Queensland Southpaw claimed he had fought unanimous decision win 116-112, rallying from some tense moments through the middle rounds. That swung the momentum Paport's way for the next few rounds before Paro was able to regain some control as the visitor began to fade in round 9. Paro's eye only got towards down the stretch, but the Aussie did just enough. Although the cards perhaps flattered the 29-year-old slightly, the result saw Paport defeated for the first time, slipping to 31-1, while Paro improved to 27-1 and is now in the box seat for a shot of IBF champion at 147 pounds, Lewis Crocker. And that's it on sport news at this hour. Thanks for watching. Freeman Usawe reporting for BeeTv News.
And that's it on our 12 p.m. news today. I remain Evelyn Izibili. Good afternoon.
You're